from Wrap Your Head Around Silks. This is the Expecting Ariels podcast. Thanks so much for being with me today. I have a great little mini course by Wrap Your Head Around Silks in the show notes, free for registration. Go ahead and click there if you are interested. And today we have Allie Cooper. She's based in Santa Cruz, California. She's a studio owner. She's a mama of 3 kids, one just born, and the creator of Circ Plus, an app that you can use on your devices. And she's going to tell us all about it. So excited for you guys to hear from her. Let's get started.
So how long have you been doing this podcast?
I feel like it's been 100,000 years, but in reality, it's 9 months, I think.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, because I've definitely heard of it before, and I'm so bad. Like, everyone's so into podcasts, and I'll admit, like, I don't listen to anything.
Well, you know what? It's replaced like music for me.
Yeah.
It's just like when I'm in the car, when I'm like doing the laundry, when I'm cooking.
Yeah.
I've got a podcast, and most of the ones I listen to are political or like cooking. Mm-hmm. I think there's one other that's Ariel based, and it's the Artist Athlete.
Yeah.
So
I've never gotten into it. I'm just like, where do people find the time to just like listen to these things or find these things or research them? I'm like, I don't have enough bandwidth to like make simple choices, let alone.
But you also have 3 children, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. No one is either surprised or judging, because that is a lot. So Allie Cooper is an aerialist and an instructor, and right? Yeah. And I have heard about you, and I've actually seen your ads, which, by the way, from a person who's like creating her own online business, I was just like, I love this color scheme.
Oh, thank you.
I love this color scheme. I love the marketing choices you've made when it comes to the visuals. I was very impressed.
Oh,
I liked it a lot.
It's definitely been a learning process.
Yeah. So, Allie, oh, my love. For the listeners, can you just introduce yourself, where you're from, kind of like your background?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why you do aerial?
Oh, yeah. So I'm Allie Cooper. I've been doing aerial for, oh my gosh, it's been so long, I don't even know anymore. I think I started taking classes in 2008, seriously, but I had dabbled in it as a teenager as well. So probably as far back as like 1997, I was getting in the air occasionally. There wasn't that much at the time, so I don't call myself an aerialist at that point in my life, but started getting into it seriously probably in 2008. I own Radical Movement Factory in Santa Cruz. I've been teaching and performing and kind of doing the whole hustle over the last decade. And most recently have started my app Circ Plus while juggling a crazy family life with 3 small kids. So that's me in a nutshell.
I didn't know that you had a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Okay, you've had that for longer than the online platform.
Yeah, there's been lots of iterations of studios in Santa Cruz, and the one that I kind of spearheaded was Radical Movement Factory. We started in 2015 and have kind of bounced around town, different versions. But yeah, we're chugging along. We survived the 2020 dumpster fire.
Pandemic. Dumpster fire. Congratulations. That's a feat to survive.
Yeah. And I feel like the community there is going strong, even though I've been very much removed from it. It's just because we were closed for most of that year. And then I was pregnant for the first half of 2021. And I just haven't really re-entered into that space yet. So I feel like it's kind of just running, even though I haven't been that involved with it.
I mean, isn't that the dream of a business owner, though, that you can step away? You know, that's great.
Yeah. I mean, I have a business partner, and thankfully she takes care of a lot of the like hands-on day-to-day stuff. But I've been trying to like run more of the administration in the background as much as I can.
No, I love it. And what's the community like there in Santa Cruz?
It fluctuates so much. Like there have been times where it's been like so strong and we've had like such a killer community. And I feel like after last year, so many people just left for whatever reason. A lot of our instructors moved on. It's so expensive here that it's hard to get long-term staff and students. So like there's a lot of turnover in that sense, but I feel like we always have like a solid core group. That's really fun. We're kind of finding our footing, I think, after the last year and a half in terms of like reestablishing our community.
So you're saying the city of Santa Cruz is a little transient, not necessarily your studio. It's the city itself that turns over a lot of people.
Yeah, it seems we have a strong, it's a university town, so people come for that. And yeah, it just seems like it's rare that people really stay for a long time. And both me and my business partner have our families here. So we are rooted, but it's hard when no one really can afford to live here.
No, it's we're kind of having the same problem in LA. It makes me feel like a child not to be able to afford a home in the city that I've spent 20 years in.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's getting worse.
Relatable.
It's getting worse. You can't afford to buy a home. And I know UC Santa Cruz, that's how in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, the UC system is there. So yeah, I feel you because it just, it's almost like the West Coast is becoming like New York City that no one actually owns. They just try to get into a good rental situation and cross their fingers,
Yeah. And it creates an interesting dilemma as a studio owner because like we were saying before, the dream is to just kind of manage a space and manage staff. But what we're finding is we're kind of being pushed back into this role of having to do all the teaching ourselves, which is fine when you don't have a family and you have a flexible schedule. But now we're finding someone on our staff is sick or can't make it in, and then we're on the hook to cover or that class. And that's not a good scenario.
No, and I make fun of Brett and Rachel. Have you met Brett and Rachel?
I haven't met them, but I know of them for sure.
So they're my friends and my technically my bosses, right? Mm-hmm. And I make fun all the time because they do not teach at the studio anymore. At all. Unless it's a big workshop. It has to be a workshop situation for them to do it. Brett is actually stepping in to teach a workshop. We're doing these performance workshops between November and December, and he stepped in to do one, and people are like, whoa, and jumping in because, I think our student base took them for granted a little bit when they were teaching regular classes. So yeah, that's the dream. They're Womack and Bowman, but they're running a business.
Yeah.
And they're performing and they're teaching elsewhere. And, they have a staff. They have we're less as well since the pandemic, but we still have a, robust staff who stay here, for the most part. But LA is like that. If you're in LA, you're usually for the long game, especially after pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's start with the mama stuff really quick. You have 3. What are the ages of your kids?
All right. So Ollie is 5.5. Annika is 2.5. And Jasper is 3 months. So he's a freshie.
3 months?
Yeah.
You're in it right now. Allie, thank you for carving out time for me and for this podcast.
It's so refreshing to speak to an adult.
Yeah, I got you. Also, Elizabeth Lerma, I just recorded, she has 5 kids.
Oh my gosh.
All out of her body. And she talked to me in 8 weeks after the last one. I was like, why are you even awake right now? I don't even understand. So 3 kids. Okay. I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I want to know so much. But if you want to talk about anything that's like training in between, like going back to your training in between, and then what you did getting ready to be pregnant again, and then getting back, kind of that roller coaster. And then anything prenatal, postpartum that stands out to you as like a little bit like not normal, or, a little bit in left field.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's a lot.
Yeah. And that's like two of a million questions.
Yeah. If as I'm talking, if you want to like focus in on anything, just like stop me and I'll elaborate. So I'll kind of give you the high level overview of the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Gosh, each experience was so different. And like each like postpartum pregnancy reality, like is so different. So with Ollie, it was like a totally vanilla pregnancy. I probably was training, I don't know, like I feel like I was still teaching, still doing a lot of stuff throughout that whole pregnancy. Like we had just started Radical Movement Factory. So like we didn't really have any staff. So I was just doing the thing, and probably stopped doing like dynamic rope stuff like at 20 weeks. That's how I remember it. But I mean, I was teaching summer camp until like a few weeks before he was born. Yeah, that birth was fine. It did it like no intervention, just regular popped him out. And it was brutal. Like I remember being like, nobody really warned me for this, just feeling like how savage it was on my body. Like, and it wasn't even that like relatively like compared to other birth stories you hear, like it was relatively fast. Like it was relatively easy on my body, but still just like feeling like, what happened? And
are you talking about the actual pushing part, or
just
postpartum?
No, just the actual birthing part.
Right. I didn't have that. I ended up with a C-section. So, and I'm probably only going to have this one bean. So I'm happy to say I might not experience that.
Oh my gosh. Like I just remember like someone asked me how it went. I was like, it was savage. It was like savage. Like why do people do
I love that word.
Yeah, just so intense. And like postpartum was fine. Like in terms of like physically, I waited my 6 weeks. I remember that first time back in the air and just feeling like a wet noodle, like hanging from the trapeze and feeling like my legs were going to just fall off, and just being like, oh, whoa, like, I don't know if I like this enough to start over, because
wow,
is not like barely able just to like hang from a bar.
That is so real. I'm so glad you're saying that, because you're in at this point. You have done so much. It's not like you just started.
Yeah.
And to feel that way, that is just, I think a lot of people are going to resonate with that.
Oh yeah. No, I so vividly remember just like being in like a mellow open training environment, and just like people like doing some conditioning, and I was just like barely able to hang from the bar, and just being like, oh my gosh, like here I am like running a studio, like what am I even doing? So I took a little bit of a step back and just did more ground conditioning for a few more weeks, and then just like wrote out circuits, just like gave myself like actionable things to accomplish so that I felt like I was doing something and making progress instead of just flailing. And I had kind of a deadline that first time, because I was going to teach at the Southern Fried Circus Festival in Dallas in October, and Ollie was born in late June. So it kind of lit a bit of a fire under me just to get to a point where I wasn't embarrassing myself. But put in the work, managed to do it. And after teaching at that festival, it really was like, that was the turning point for me that first time, where I felt like, okay, like I can actually get back to a place where I want to be.
Okay. Being an instructor and somebody who has like a little bit of a following, to go into the studio and to be so unable.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not a person to get embarrassed very easily. And it just feels that way. There's no other way to feel.
Yeah.
Like, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And my students watching, and I think getting a realistic take of what pregnancy does to a body, but then also it just sucks.
Yeah. It's hard not to hold that. I mean, you have the like most valid excuse ever to not be in peak shape, but still, like it's hard not to feel anxious and embarrassed as you're stepping back into that role and not really being at the level that you want to be at or you're used to being at. So that's like definitely a mental comeback, I think, was just as hard as the physical for that first one.
Okay. It really resonates with me.
Yeah. So that was the first pregnancy with Ollie. There was 3 years between having him and when I got pregnant with Annika, or just shy of it. And so I managed to get back to like a pretty solid level. Like I feel like I was back to where I was before the first pregnancy and then I got pregnant again.
Okay. So Allie, how long between the pregnancies?
Let's see. Their births are just about 3 years apart for the first two.
Okay.
So it was like 2.5
years. Okay. I'm 2 years out. She just turned 2 and I still have pelvic floor issues. Mm-hmm. Like I'm having trouble connecting the pelvic floor to my barrel of my abs. I talk about it every week. Literally, Allie, if you ever go back and listen to this podcast, you're going to be like, Carrie, we get it. Yeah. You're struggling a little. So like it's 2 years out. So if I were to get pregnant now, like I'm there, but I'm not 100%. So if you were 100% or close to it, that's...
Yeah. And I feel
that's pretty good.
Grateful for that. I never saw a pelvic floor specialist. Like maybe I had issues that I didn't realize or don't realize. But in terms of just how my performance was, I didn't feel like there was anything like off. I didn't have any separation with any of my pregnancies. I think mainly because I was like so paranoid of it. It was like an irrational fear of the separation that I really just didn't do any core work. Like after the first trimester, I was like, I'm not going to mess with.
DR, right. You didn't want to mess with it. So you wait, but you said you were, for the second pregnancy, you didn't want to mess with it. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when I got pregnant with Annika, that was fun. I feel like I was actually really active during that pregnancy. I was like really into hot yoga and hot Pilates, and I was just like going for it, like just for my own sanity. And I know that's controversial, but it was for my own. Like I was monitoring myself and stepping out when needed. So don't come at me for that.
Well, I actually saw a couple like really athletic women taking hot yoga before I was pregnant. Mm-hmm. And they were full in their pregnancy. And those women had been taking hot yoga for years. Yeah. And so, it was probably fun.
Yeah, it wasn't something that I started when I was pregnant. I had been doing it for years before. So I feel like that was like the healthiest. Like, I don't know, I managed to maintain like, I don't know if healthier, like, but just like more fitness throughout that pregnancy, which felt really good. But then she did come, let's see, my water broke at 33 weeks. Whether or not that was related, we'll never know.
Oh, wow. That's kind of early.
Yeah, it was early. So my water broke. I was admitted and I was on hospital bed rest for a week, which was terrible because here I am like stuck in the hospital with like a toddler at home and just like that, not really knowing what was happening. And she was born at 34 weeks, really completely fine, except just little. She was 4 pounds, 3 ounces. spent 3.5 weeks in the NICU. Came home, and she's just our little squirt, but she's a fireball now.
Oh my goodness. So just feed and grow in the NICU.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And it was, I think, as good of an experience as it could have been, considering the circumstances. And that, like, because she was early, excuse me, like that birth and recovery was just like, I feel like that day, like my body felt fine. It was wild. Like popping out a small baby really was not as hard as a 7-pound baby. So.
And did you do an epidural the second time around?
No, I didn't.
You went for it. You were like, amnesia set in.
You know, yeah.
And you were fine.
I think so. I don't know. I was just like, well, I've done it before.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that makes, I had a huge injury before my pregnancy, like years before. Mm-hmm. And I think that made that idea like, oh, I've done this before, where you come completely back to your aerial practice after not doing it, after being injured, after a huge surgery. It really does change the mental game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And just physically, like, I mean, I feel like I was back training really soon after. Like, I didn't even really wait my 6 weeks because I was like so stressed with her in the hospital. Like, I needed some sort of physical outlet just to maintain some sort of sanity. So yeah, after that pregnancy, I feel like I got in the air really fast after. But then when she came home, the issue was just wasn't time to get in the air.
Yeah, because now you have two, which after you have one, tell me if this is true, like 2, 3, and you don't have a fourth, but is it kind of the same? Like having 2 and having 3, is it ish the same?
I feel
versus 1.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between 1 and 2 was a lot more intense than 2 and 3, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, I liken it. I think it's similar to like trying to hold sand in your hand and run around.
Yeah, there's always.
That's what I imagine, which is why I love that I can just scoop up my bean and go.
Yeah, no, with 2 or with a 3, like there's always a butt to wipe. There's always a snack to be given. Like there's really like nothing. Like you get one ready to go and the other one has gotten naked. It's like, okay.
Yeah, like I think about how many times a day she asks for a snack. And if you multiply that, I don't even know what to say. Like, just like.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right. So you went back into the air pretty quickly after your second. Yeah. And this time felt physically the same maybe, but then mentally different?
Yeah, probably physically better, but then just not having the time. Like my studio is probably like a 20 or 30 minute drive, like on a good day. And like when you're fighting for every second of alone time, like you could not justify that commute. To like when you think like, okay, well, that's like more time that I have to factor in how much pumping I'll have to do. Like I just didn't even want to deal with it. So coming back, I got in the air relatively quick, but did a lot of conditioning at home kind of in the interim because I wanted to be doing something, but I didn't want to be wasting my time just conditioning at the studio, whereas like that's something I could do at home.
And you don't have a home rig?
I mean, I do, but also just not like there's just always someone wanting like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Like even getting out to it, I'm sure like it's outside.
Yeah. Outside, setting up the mat, like having weather be decent. Like there's just too many variables. So
no, my friend Tanya, who lives here in LA, she has a like amazing rig. Where she, it's basically like a rental space for other people as well. And she has to coordinate a babysitter just to go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't really matter if you have an outdoor rig if you can't get out to it.
It's so true. Whereas if I'm doing just some like ground conditioning, I can do that during a nap time. I can do that when they've gone to sleep. I can just knock out 30 minutes and feel like I've accomplished something versus the whole run around of like getting my setup together outside and maybe being able to do something.
Yeah, I always say to myself, and I just have the one. If I don't do some yoga in the morning, it doesn't happen all day.
Yeah.
So like the days that I get it done in the morning, it's like great. But then, not this morning.
We do our best.
Maybe it'll happen tomorrow. But yeah. Okay. So, and you have a fresh one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me about your pregnancy.
So that pregnancy, like, because Annika was so early, and because I'm going to be 38 in November. I'm officially a geriatric pregnancy. So I was considered high risk, all things considered. So it was a little bit stressful because they had me coming in almost every 2 weeks for growth checks and placenta checks and all the things.
Yes.
Which is just a lot when I have the two others at home. And it's just, kind of just telling yourself like everything's going to be okay. But like along the way, there's always like a few hiccups that they're like, oh, well, maybe this is going to be something. And it's like, oh, all right. So it was
well, and there's a pandemic in there on casually.
Yeah, casually.
So what is the coordination with the pandemic? Like, what's the timing of the pandemic plus you getting pregnant? Like, when did you get pregnant and when did the pandemic start?
I got pregnant. Oh gosh, let me think about this. Last December. So
okay, so we were like deep in.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like still deep in, but not as like crazy uncertain as like the very beginning, right? But still in the thick of it. And at the time,
your partner could come to the hospital with you, type of thing.
Yeah, they could come to the hospital, but none of the appointments. So.
Got it.
But both the other kids were still home. They weren't in any sort of school care at the time. So just, there's that. But ultimately, everything was fine with this most recent pregnancy. There was a moment where he was measuring super small, like in the 9th percentile, and they wanted to induce early. So we ended up doing that because it was like, as much as I'm 100% for natural birth and just letting your body do your thing, the idea of being able to schedule it and like having the other kids like at grandma and grandpa.
Totally.
It's like, that sounds great. Like one less thing to worry about so we don't have this dramatic rush to the hospital. And that went fine. I was so nervous about an induction, and I love my midwife, and I told her that I wanted to do it like with as little intervention as possible, and she totally supported that. So we did like a medical induction, I guess you'd say, like, which worked out great. And
I don't even know what that is though. No Pitocin?
No Pitocin. Basically, yeah, if you don't want to hear about this, just skip ahead. They like put a balloon inside you to like do what Pitocin would do, to like manually open the cervix. So they did that. It was super chill. I was dilated to like a 5, but I was having no contractions. And then they broke my water and probably like started like consistent, uncomfortable contractions a half hour after that. And he was born a half hour later after 2 pushes.
Oh my God. Okay. So I learn something new every day on this freaking podcast. I've never heard of this non-Pitocin induction in my life.
Yeah. It's called a Foley balloon.
Wow.
And it's super weird. They like literally like put a little water balloon up in there, and totally not uncomfortable at all, just really chill. And then I was ready to go. So
I don't know you well, and I don't know if I've seen your like videos. You are would you consider yourself a petite person? I don't know how tall you are.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have a pretty like petite-ish build, I guess.
Okay.
I'm 5'5".
Okay. So how are you like, popping these babies out kind of, I don't want to say the word easily because it's savage no matter
Right.
what. But I don't understand.
I consider myself petite, but like I do feel like my hips are kind of like prime for childbearing. Like, and even my like midwives have said this before. They're like, "Oh wow, like you're built for this." I'm like, "Thanks, I guess."
Okay, and then also your births were 7 pounds or less.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so that's part of it because one of the other ladies that was on the podcast recently, she naturally gave birth to 2 that were 9 pounds. Gosh. And I was like, I don't understand what's happening now.
I make smallish babies, and I think that helps.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you were actually only pregnant for 8 months.
With the last one, though, it was full term, except we induced just a week early.
Oh, a week early.
Just a week. Okay. Just a week. So he was 6 pounds, 8 ounces. So, I mean, if he had gone full term, he would have been close to 7. So he definitely wasn't as small as they had feared. But it was relatively, I hate saying easy, but it was an awesome birth. It was a really, like, it went like as well as I could have hoped. So.
And, in your mind, you're saying to yourself, I've done this before and I've forgotten about it before. Yeah. Amnesia sets in. I always think about physical pain that way. Like, I don't think about it in the future and I don't think about it in the past. Mm-hmm. I just deal with it in the moment.
Yeah.
And I think that helps me not be afraid.
Yeah. And I think the best thing, my mom actually told me this. She's like, as painful or as uncomfortable as it might get, just remember that it's not going to last forever. And like, you're going to have this baby and then it's going to be fine. So it's like, it's like talking someone down from a bad trip. Like, this isn't going to be forever. Like,
yes.
Get through it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So this was only 3 months ago. And how's your 4th trimester with the 3rd?
I mean, it's fine. Luckily, he is so chill. He's the most mellow baby. He sleeps decently. It's just the other 2 that are completely insane.
I cannot imagine having a newborn and then 2 running around and having all of their needs that they always had before.
Yeah. I mean, the little one, Jasper, he's definitely just kind of along for the ride. Like with the first and even the second, like every little thing they do, you're like, oh my gosh, like you like found your fingers. And now it's just like, all right, buddy, here we go.
Everybody in the house is alive. We've won today, exactly, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my God. And you own a studio. I don't even know what to say, Allie. I didn't really know any of this. I knew you had 3 kids and I saw you on the internet sometimes. I'm very impressed. I want to be your friend. Yeah. Okay. So how does this all fit together? You're past 6 weeks. So it's more of a time poverty problem right now.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And even just working on like my other business, like, cause I have Radical Movement Factory. And then I started Cirque Plus, really after Annika was born, because after the whole experience of her in the NICU and just as I was coming back to teaching after my second pregnancy, I really was already realizing like, I don't want to be teaching all the time. Like this isn't a sustainable thing for my family. So I was already kind of laying the groundwork for my app and to kind of transition to teaching online a little bit more. So luckily I kind of had that foundation established before the pandemic started, which really saved my bacon. And yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought. This is what mom life is about.
No, I do it like, don't worry, full editing, because I lose like track of what I'm thinking. Like my words just leave my brain and I only have one. So the app, tell me the concept of the app.
Yeah, so the concept of the app was really solving the problem that I had returning to the air after my second baby, which was that lack of time. Like I wanted to be moving my body. I wanted to be feeling like I was making progress towards getting back in the air again, but I just didn't have the ability to get in the air all the time. So kind of the conditioning that I outlined for myself to do at home became the first iteration of what I offered in the app. So Circ Plus conditioning is kind of my foundational program to kind of get people, whether they've taken a break for a pregnancy or an injury or just have had time off, just to kind of build up a level of strength and stamina that's transferable to the air. So that is what I started with the app, which incidentally was also exactly what people were looking for in the early months of the pandemic. So
yeah, that seems like it would work out really well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So this is not necessarily like choreography. This is like getting your body strong enough.
That's what it started with. And then as it evolved, like now I do have other programs that like there's one that's all about momentum pathways, and there's one that's more like split pole theory. So like it has kind of expanded to include more like theory and sequencing and things like that. But at its core, like in the beginning, it was definitely more of a conditioning based program.
And you are a rope chick.
Yeah.
You're a rope chick. Do you have any other apparatuses in it?
I do rope and fabric. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, I love it. How is it being an online teacher?
The way that I've been doing it has been a good fit for me, which is nothing live, because as you know, trying to do anything live with small children running around is impossible. So I've completely embraced the like asynchronous learning and teaching method. So I just create my content and people are able to kind of use it on their own, which for me is how I would want to be able to learn. Like there's so many awesome workshops virtually happening and things like that. But personally, I can never make the time zones line up or arrange childcare to take advantage. So what I wanted to create was so that it had the most flexibility as possible for other aerialists looking to level up their training.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I've got my whole curriculum online, and they, you know, when they buy it, they get access to it forever. Mm-hmm. They can start it 5 years from now if they really want to. You know, it's because I actually purchased a course during the pandemic for rigging. Mm-hmm. The Hall Academy, Delbert Hall's. Have you heard of Delbert Hall?
Yeah.
So his course I purchased. Bean, do you need attention? His course, you only have access to it for 1 year. Huh. And when I first purchased it, I was like, oh, I will be able to figure this out in a year. Yeah, I got like a month left, like 2 months left. I need to cram it when between now and Christmas, basically, I gotta finish it. And it feels like pressure. Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, you think a year's a long time, but it's actually not when you're really busy doing other things.
Yeah. This is true.
Yeah. Totally the case. So this is great. So you've got that online platform, you've got the studio, and you've got the kids. How are you doing this, by the way? Like, what's this balancing act look like on a daily basis?
Well, luckily, my husband and I, we both have family locally, so we get help with the kids in that sense. It's been really hard with the time. Like I have so much in my mind of like how I want to grow my business and what tasks I need to do for the brick and mortar business. and just literally trying to squeeze in 15-minute chunks of computer work, like while they're watching cartoons or napping. And it feels so fragmented. And I think that's been the most challenging part postpartum this time around, because I consider myself to be a very hyper-focused person, like able to juggle a lot of things at once. And when I have this experience of like being like, oh, I have 5 minutes, I need to do this thing, walking into the back bedroom, sitting down and just completely blanking on what I came in to do, it just makes me so agitated and pissed off. So like that's how my like postpartum is like manifesting itself, is just like why can't I just do these like simple tasks that should be relatively simple and straightforward, and I'm just like, my bandwidth is so low. That's been the most challenging thing for me. But we have a lot of support. Ollie's in kindergarten, which, by the way, kindergarten, he loves it, but it's from like 8 to noon. So it's just enough time to like get your head in the game, and then he's home.
Yeah. And then, are you driving and coming back?
Luckily, I don't have to deal with the drive in the morning, and he takes the bus home. So it buys us a little bit more time, but it just sucks. It's
well, because you still have the 2 at home. It's not like...
Yeah. So Annika goes to a preschool like 3 days a week, which she loves. And Jasper is just like sleeping still, or like attached to the boob while I'm on the computer. Like it's, and I know that as soon as he's like a little bit more mobile, like this is going to be even harder as soon as he's like actually wanting to interact more and play, and he's crawling. Oh my gosh. Like, it's going to be even more impossible to squeeze in these little chunks of work. So I definitely feel this time pressure to like get everything that you need to get done now.
Yeah. And then two things. You must have become the most efficient person ever, though.
Oh gosh, I don't know about that.
Well, you have to. I think that all of us have become more efficient as we had kids. I mean, I don't know about you, but before I had her, I used to go to the studio and spend hours there. Oh, yeah. And maybe not even accomplishing that much sometimes.
Yeah, no.
But I would just be there forever.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a dream from another lifetime. Yeah, so you must be really efficient. But I have to say that with Wrap Your Head Around Silks is my online thing. When I'm in course creation mode, like content creation mode, it's really time consuming. Yeah. I don't know if you have that experience.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, to create content that people can actually follow really well without anybody else in the room. It's tough. So I really give it to you because, and also being I know you have a business partner for the brick and mortar, but for me, it's not like Womack and Bowman. They have a very specific setup where 2 humans are working on it. Mm-hmm. And I don't have that. And it's like, this thing is not going out unless I do.
Yeah.
There's no other person hanging out, getting the engine going and keeping it going. So I have a lot of this resonates with me, and I totally am amazed by what you're able to do. I mean, just the idea of posting on Instagram on a daily basis is so tiring to me.
It is. It's exhausting.
Because you have to create the content. It's not like the content's just there and you have to post it. Like, you have to create something that people are actually going to vibe with.
My presence on Instagram is such a roller coaster. I'll be super active for a week and a half and then ghost for 2 weeks.
And then you can feel the algorithm not working for you sometimes because you're not on there and you're like, oh my God.
Well, this is silly, but I had been in the last month of my pregnancy, I obviously wasn't training and I really wanted to stay connected with the community on Instagram. So that's when I was doing all my reels. And it was really fun. People were loving them. I was like, oh, cool. This is something that people are really resonating and relating to. So I did it and I was getting pretty good results. And then I didn't post for a week when I was having a baby. And then all of my engagement tanked. I was like,
Oh my God, that's so frustrating. Is that how like flippant Reels is? Like you have to feed the beast every day, basically.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, well, screw this. I'll do it when I can, but I'm not going to stress about it. But what you were saying about like how much energy it takes for content creation, like I feel like I'm at a point now where I'm not stressing too much about content creation because I'm not like in shape to create content. But also I already have a lot. But my focus currently is just like the marketing side of it and just like getting eyeballs on it and getting people to actually, use it. So it's like a different beast when you're trying to like figure out Facebook ads and building a website. That's
yes.
the other side of this business that you have to like take on because no one else is doing it. Like, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like Googling tutorials for everything I do.
Allie, I feel like out of all the ladies I've talked to, this is where like I really relate to a woman the most because I had to do the exact same thing. Like I can video edit now. I can audio edit now. I can build a website now, but I surely couldn't do that a couple years ago.
Oh, totally.
And I'm like, so this is great in the long term, but while you're learning it, it's just like that task is so hard to complete because you have to learn how to do it as you're doing it.
Yeah. Especially when you're getting interrupted every 5 minutes and you're like, wait, what was I doing?
Right. Yes. I mean, part of the reason why I knew I could do the podcast was because my partner is an audio guy.
Nice.
So if it wasn't for that, there would be a big question mark of how do I do this?
Oh, yeah.
So, and then how do you get past that? Because do you learn it yourself? Do you pay somebody?
I know.
Do you have how were you able to turn it into an app though? That's a whole other technical.
Yeah. Like it had been something that I was really interested in making an app. And then after some initial research was like, okay, whoa, this is way more budget and investment than I can even consider. And then I saw an ad for Passion Apps, and it's this platform that basically is a builder for you. And it's amazing. I highly recommend it to anyone. I have a link in my Instagram bio, but like Passion.io has made this possible for me. And really, it's been an incredible process just kind of making an online program, not only to get it out to the community and hopefully like make some money off of it, but also just to distill my own like curriculum. Like it's been so amazing to like have these aha moments myself when I'm like structuring it in a way that I feel people will be able to understand. I'm like, oh, like this is what I'm all about. Like it's all coming together.
Yeah, it is really amazing to feel like your curriculum is somewhere people can access it. Yeah. I mean, that makes me happy too, because it's kind of the same thing, because I feel like it's there. Mm-hmm. And what's the word? Like, it's like I don't have to repeat myself to the entire world all the time. Like it's there, it's concise, it makes sense.
Yeah, it is really
well produced, blah, blah, blah.
It's fantastic to be able to like someone asks you a question and you have like a video archive with a tutorial already existing. You're just like, oh, just watch this.
It's amazing, obviously, for the person that's learning from it, but also for us because I'm sure you feel the same way. I love the way I teach and I want to be able to teach more people, but how can I do that when I have no time?
And that was the main reason that I wanted to shift to online coaching and building an app. It's scalable. Like when you're teaching classes in person, like you're limited by your time, number one. You're limited by how many people you can have in class. And if you want to make more money, you have to either increase your class capacity or give more time, which I wasn't willing to give more time. And thanks to the pandemic, we can't have huge class capacities. So it seemed like a good alternative. And it came at a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like in our industry, there are, quite a number, but still, can count on two hands. The women who are, and I would say women, but there's Brett too, who are like really trying to create something that can be shared outside of our time poverty, outside of our geographic location. Here's a pencil bean. Like Jill Franklin, Aerial Physique, Rachel and Brett, mine, that I feel like it's a little bit more of a baby, Wrap Your Head Around Silks, your stuff. And if it wasn't for these people, then how would it reach the corners of the world? Because there's a lot of people out there that just want the same type of training that we get and the same type of access to teachers that we have. And, if you live in a small town, it's really hard.
Yeah. And I remember being a student like that, like being like so hungry for content and
yes.
like these
and safely too, not just watching an Instagram video and trying to copy it.
These are the types of programs that I, as a baby aerialist, would have been so happy to have.
Yes. Okay. I'm getting a little bit of a fussy bean, and I know you have a very limited time. So, Allie, if you were to give advice to any aspiring aerialists out there, what would you say?
Oh my gosh.
Wait, sorry. Let me get more specific. Let me get more specific. If you have advice for any women out there who have a baby and either want to start or go back to it. That's the question.
Okay. So if you've had a baby or you're thinking about getting pregnant and you're an aerialist and you want to have like a roadmap for that, is just set realistic goals. I think that the most counterproductive thing that we can do coming back to aerial is to assume that we're going to be at the same place that we were when we left, which is not the case. So finding a way to navigate that and just to be patient with yourself. And of course, it's not the best feeling to be stuck doing beginner skills again, especially when you were maybe at a higher level. And to be patient with yourself, be consistent, take advantage of the time that you have in the air and make the most of it. And the more you can set yourself up for success, whether that be conditioning at home, like the worst feeling is to not be getting in the air and then going to the studio and not being able to do anything in that moment. But the way that I've always approached it is do as much as I can outside of the studio so that when I do find myself in the air, the skills and strength that were there and that bring me joy feel accessible. So sorry, that was kind of long-winded.
No, it's amazing. Allie, thank you for being with us. I feel like the community is going to really benefit from hearing from you. Yeah, you're amazing. I want to be buddies.
Let's be in touch.
I want to be friends. Thanks so much to Allie Cooper for carving out the time to be with me. Wow, it is just so crazy in the fourth trimester that I'm floored anytime a woman makes the time to come and share her story with me and this great community. If you go to the show notes, registration for the free mini course by Wrap Your Head Around Silks. There's 10 chapters of some great little nuggets of info free for you guys. All right. Thank you so much to Asa Watkins for music and post-production. And if you would honor me with a 5-star rating and a review, and where you get your podcasts, I'd love to hear from you guys. Please let me know your thoughts and feelings. And even if you'd like to be on the podcast, I want this podcast to reflect our worldwide community. All right, guys, have an amazing, amazing week. This is the Expecting Aerialist podcast.